Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day today. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Today I just want to talk about the fastest way to rank up in 2025. I got a build here for you. I'm going to show you everything you need to smash out that scoreboard or just rank up fast. Let's get into it here. Okay, so this build will help you get lots of XP, and you may be wondering how a lot of XP will help you complete the scoreboard. Up until level 100 on the scoreboard, you get a repeatable for getting 10,000 XP. So every 10,000 XP, you're going to get this repeatable. With this build and doing the stuff that I'm going to show you in the video, you can smash the scoreboard out in literally, 2 or 3 days if you really want it to. It would be a bit of an effort, but still, you can get it done very fast just from getting this repeatable. Okay, so let's get into the build here. Now, you may notice my intelligence is at 15, and I do have a legendary perk card on for intelligence as well. This is just to max the intelligence, because if you didn't know, the more intelligence you have, the more XP you will get with kills. Now, this is the build that I have for you guys. I will show you, it in its full force and a little later on in the video here. It's definitely more than you need. I know this is an end game build. If this is not for you and you're a little bit of a newer player, I will link a beginner XP guide for you in the description. Now, let's get into the mutations we're going to be using. I'll just recommend some, and I'll say which ones definitely you would be wanting. Like Adrenal, you're definitely going to want that. Eagle Eyes, definitely want that. Egghead for sure is a must. Healing Factor. Herbivore I'm using for this build. Just throwing this out there if you want to make some Blight Soup to do a little bit of extra damage, although this build does more than enough damage. Herd Mentality, Marsupial, Scaly Skin, and Speed Demon. I would recommend all of those as well. For the armor that I'm using, Unyielding Armor is a must. +2 intelligence for your second effect is definitely a must, and then whatever you want to put on for a 3rd or a 4th star. I highly recommend maybe Rangers for a 4th star I'm going to show here, and Arms Keeper for a 3rd star, which will help, all the weapons you pick up weigh a lot less. I find that's like one of the best things to have on your armor. To stop you from having to slow down. If you're just running West Tech, then you probably don't need that unless you're picking up everything. But yeah, that's just what I recommend. And this is the gun that I'm using. Again, that +3 intelligence is very important. You can use other guns with this build too. You don't have to use a fixer, but I highly recommend that fixer that I was using. And yes, maybe Rangers I would recommend for this build. I feel like you're getting a lot of criticals already for this build. But maybe you want limit breaking. I haven't been able to test that fully yet, but I would recommend Rangers just to be safe, if you can get it. I wasn't able to get it on my armor quite yet. And let's go over the buffs that I will be using for this as well. If you need a video going over all the buffs, I will link that in the description as well. This is actually a bed, basically, so if you rest in a bed for 30 seconds, you can get 5% extra XP for an hour. The Derby Machine will increase your intelligence by 2 for 30 minutes. And the Mothman Tome here is the same as the Scarberry buff. If you just get a blessing from him, you can do either of those. Also, I suggest being in a casual team for +4 intelligence maximum. And throwing this out there too, I use Live and Love 8s now, considering the other Live and Love that we used to use to buff Brain Bombs and Cranberry Relish doesn't work anymore. So we're gonna have to use that magazine. You can see all the other buffs I'm using here. Leader Bobblehead. You can use a Marsupial to get 1+ intelligence. Berry Mentats. Basically every XP buff, including lunchboxes that you can possibly think of to get going. Again, I will link a video in the description telling you every buff. And yeah, again, I recommend all of them. And yes, this build is great for running West Tech if that's your thing. You can just run it with run it with the fixer, or you can throw Nuka grenades with this build as well. I did include perks to make the grenades powerful in case you wanted to run West Tech. And like I said, you could use this weapon or basically any rifle will probably run you through West Tech pretty good. Let's be honest, level 100 super mutants aren't exactly too hard to kill. But I do recommend throwing Nuka grenades. It doesn't work like it used to. I heard you can take an explosive bobblehead. I have tried it, but I feel like just throwing 2 grenades works a little bit better. It depends, you know, how many grenades you have and how many bobbleheads you have, and I just suggest try going both ways. But then if you use that explosive bobblehead, keep in mind you're getting, you know, not getting the leader bobblehead. So I just throw 2 grenades. You can see I'm still getting, you know, tens of thousands of XP for the first 2 doors, and then I'll get over 20,000 XP for the third area here that I like to throw at, which is normal. It used to be the exact same with 1 grenade, except you basically have to throw 2 now. So we're using double the amount of nuka grenades now, not a big deal. And yes, this build is amazing for expeditions too. If you have all the buffs that I got going on in the video, you can get over 100,000 XP per expedition just for completing it with a 4-player team. If you're doing it solo, I think you get around 60 to 70. Not to mention you'll get another 100,000 XP just killing enemies on average. So about 200,000 XP an expedition. I'll link a video in the description going over that as well. And another little trick with the expeditions, if you're doing them, I suggest you switch to an expeditions team just before you finish it while playing a casual team the whole time before that. This build will do more than enough damage. As you can see, I just completely annihilate a behemoth here. This is a very dangerous area in my opinion for a low health or a bloodied build. You can see I have no problem over here. Scorch Beast just, you know, shooting the sonic beam at me. Tons of Scorch shooting at me. It really wasn't a problem over here. You just got to keep an eye on the stim packs. Yeah, definitely a build that you can wander around with. This build, I wanted to say, does not limit you to expeditions and West Tech. You could easily run around with this build, which I have done a lot of. I'm level 10,000 at this point, and I don't usually use this build unless I'm leveling up the scoreboard, but that's probably what this build is best for, unless you're trying to rank up. Unfortunately, lower level people are trying to rank up, so this may not be a build for the lower levels, but if you're 300-400 and want to hit 1,000 or complete the scoreboard fast, definitely the build for you. And like I said, you can run around with it. The only thing you're not going to be able to pretty much do is the raids with this build. I would not go into raids with this build. You can try. And yes, you can use energy weapons with this build as well. Maybe you can squeeze on a couple science perks if you're going to. I would suggest that as well. Maybe take the gunsmith off, I think. I only really threw that on there because I had so much extra intelligence points for the purpose of ranking up fast. But you can see an energy weapon works just fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it, everybody. Definitely a little bit working towards this if you're a lower level. So again, I will link a video for beginner XP guide if you need that in the comments. And yeah, I hope this helps you smash out the scoreboard very fast, or at least get you to the level that you're looking to get to. Thank you so much for watching the videos, guys. Have a pleasant evening.